bombs fell, the world burned, the darkness consumed us. Humans dug deep, but the earth held secrets. There is no escape now. Where else would you go?
The air in that old European manor always felt heavy, like a wet blanket draped over everything. Adrian and his sister Clara bought it from a desolate region in northeastern France, drawn by its historical significance and low price. Locals whispered of a malevolent presence, a djinn bound to the house for centuries by black magic. Adrian and Clara, both rational and scientifically minded, dismissed these tales as mere village superstition. At first, everything was fine, but gradually, strange things began to happen within the manor. At night, dragging sounds echoed from the frescoed ceilings. Sudden, icy coldness would fill the rooms without reason, and sometimes, faint, suppressed sobs of a woman could be heard. When Clara mentioned it to Adrian, he dismissed it as the creaks of an old building and the natural cold. One night, as the blue moonlight streamed through the manor windows, Clara dreamt of a tall, black-robed woman with disheveled hair and eyes like glowing embers. The woman pointed at Clara, muttering in an ancient, incomprehensible tongue. Clara awoke in a fright, her body drenched in sweat. The next morning, Clara discovered an old well in the hidden garden behind the manor, one they hadn't noticed before. Strange symbols were carved around the well, and a foul, shroud-like stench hung in the air. Driven by a mix of curiosity and dread, Clara approached the well and tried to peer in. Suddenly, she felt as if an icy hand had pushed her from behind. She barely managed to steady herself and avoid falling in. From that day forward, the incidents grew more terrifying. The manor's heavy wooden doors and windows would open and close on their own. At night, footsteps could be heard, walking through the spacious halls, and a faint, dark figure would appear in the ancient mirrors. Sometimes, they felt as if someone was calling their names. Clara was now completely terrified, certain that a demonic force resided in the manor. She contacted the elders of the local village, who recounted the history of Manor de la Mort, Manor of Death. According to them, centuries ago, a powerful dark sorceress lived there. She had used black magic to enslave a dangerous djinn. When the sorceress died of a mysterious illness, the djinn tried to break free, but its spirit remained trapped within the manor, tormenting anyone who dared to reside there. One night, when Adrian was alone in the library, studying old manuscripts, he had a horrifying experience. All the candles and oil lamps in the room extinguished simultaneously, and a cold, screaming voice echoed, piercing him to the bone. Adrian saw a black form materializing in the air above the bookshelves, its eyes like burning coals. He screamed and tried to flee, but an unseen supernatural force held him captive. He felt as if his soul was being pulled away, his breath suffocating. When Clara arrived, alerted by the commotion, she found Adrian unconscious, terror etched on his face and bruises around his neck. They decided it was too dangerous to stay there for another moment. They packed their belongings and left the cursed Manor de la Mort forever. As she departed, Clara looked back at the manor. In a broken window on the upper floor, she saw the same black-robed woman she had seen in her dream, her red eyes gleaming in the darkness. She heard a low, triumphant laugh that dissolved into the cold night air. Clara was convinced that the djinn was still trapped within that grand and terrifying manor, and anyone who entered its grounds would fall victim to its wrath. That old European manor still stands desolate today, shrouded by black magic and the shadow of a malevolent djinn. In the silence of the night, strange sounds still emanate from it, terrifying those who unknowingly wander too close.